Hey people, Indrid here. Welcome to the Elite League show, where I'll be showcasing some games from that 1v1 event. And kicking us off is Adila, the organizer of the Elite League, playing a Tech Marine. Starts off range combat, puts out some good damage, can also support with structures and repair, get into melee combat too. This is some Ultramarines. Up against Phoenix is a war boss, melee hero that can walk through objects, very good offense, disruption and support from the front lines. This is Survival Frontier. Pretty fun 1v1 map. You seem to be more popular a little while ago. Maybe we'll see more of it now in this league. So for those that don't know, it's a 1v1 event. Starts off in a league structure and then moves on to a knockout type thing with the top players advancing. Each player has to choose 5 heroes to represent them, and they all play each other in a best of 3 set. You're not allowed to choose the same hero twice in any one set. I assume that's going to carry forward to the later stages where you have some best of 5 matches too. You can also choose random. Go in without knowing what hero you're going to get. And some players have done that, I think. I believe the first season was won by Don Freeman, one of the players who has chosen random for season 2. I'll put a link in the description so you can see all the rules. Maybe even donate to the prize pool, and also a link to the challenge page which shows you all the results, all the standings. But bear in mind that will be, of course, a spoiler for these shows and any other coverage you might want to see. Single cap here early on from Phoenix, an aggressive start pushing against these Space Marines. Tech Marine takes the garrison. Here comes some sluggers though, and they do have their burners, so they can use burn that house and try and roast this Tech Marine. I think they're going for it, are they? They seem to get stuck behind the object there and couldn't quite get burning that house. But Shooter Boys are decapping, they're happy. And these fellas, wow, done to a single model, really. Lots of bolter fire, rip them to shreds against double tactical Marines here for Adila. A good stomp from the war boss. Uses it to escape safely and hold up these Marines a bit. That single Shooter Boy needs to be very, very careful. These guys behind cover, but they won't stand for long against all of this bolter fire here. The Tech Marine alone does over 30 DPS piercing. Each of those bolters, I believe, doing 13 DPS or so. I believe it's 12.58 or something, I seem to remember. That could be totally wrong. Could be totally wrong. Scouts on capping duty. Do we have shotguns up? We do not. We do have some Storm Boys from Phoenix to get in amongst these double tactical Marines with their power weapons, of course. Adila can respond with bionics, powerful sweep. A good melee deterrent. I wonder if we'll follow up those Storm Boys with a Pain Boy. That would be a hell of a lot of fun. But it's a lot of power to drop on a melee force in Tier 1 that can be shut down pretty hard by a Tier 2 Walker vehicle. War Boss, no War Gear, no XP either. I guess they didn't drop any models, the Space Marines. 2-to-1 cap here now for Adila. Spread out his force pretty well from the mid to the south. You have this big line of points running up the spine of this map. All of the points contested, of course, in terms of VPs. Sluggers getting caught between 2 tactical Marine squads, but those guys didn't want to tangle in melee and run away. Here come the Storm Boys. Clumsy jump squad that fight pretty fiercely in melee combat with power melee weapons. Not the most elegant. Not the most elegant jump squad. Did the shooters survive? They did survive. Here comes some Devastators now from Adila. Getting their advanced targeting going immediately for those Vengeance rounds. For 900% more damage, but no more suppression. Uh-oh. Tactical Marines in trouble. Special attacks setting up a lot of hits. They do take a model, but no more than that. Holding up the Space Marines though, with the Orcs not really able to capitalize with some capping. These Shooter Boys a little bit motionless there. Sluggers did get a power bash though, that's good for the Orcs. Storm Boys only dropped 1 model. Where's the War Boss? He's hanging out at base. Not sure how Orcs exactly just hang out. Probably more fighting, I suppose. Grenade was misjudged by Adila. And here's a lot of Dakar. Shooter Boys do have their big shooters up, but no bleeders yet. Adilla could capitalise by getting some sneaky scouts and setting up some nasty grenades. Not all of those shooter boys are behind cover, so they did take a loss there. Here comes the war boss. Took his time coming out of base, but now he's ready to rumble again. I think his angry bits would be great here, and in fact, there he goes, purchasing it. Can run into the blob of tactical marines if they ever are together. Here he goes. Does big chunks of damage with his default weapon, the war boss, like 42 DPS melee, but he attacks pretty slowly, so it's big chunks, which is generally what you want, since you can hit stuff that's trying to get away from you and deliver your damage in one blow. These marines down to 2 models. Got no wipes yet. Pretty fiercely contested, and the sluggers again going after that power. Phoenix doing a good job with this. Devastators and scouts and marines and the tech marines should be able to repel them. And in fact, Phoenix notices it and backs away, recognizing the threat there. Marines did not finish that decap. Caught out of cover by shooter boys, and they bring a hell of a lot of DAC in a decap of their own. Storm boys lying in wait, looking for a target. Most likely those devastators if they are brought up by Adilla. Look at that. Tearing through those shooter boys with the bolters. Here comes the war boss, charging with agri bits, creating cover, disrupting, and giving himself some health regen. Storm boys catching those devastators quite near base though, so they in turn are forced to retreat off. Maybe should have waited a little bit for Adilla to bring his forces out a little bit more, so he could have jumped, forced something off, and still stayed in play. As it turned out, it was a bit too close to everything there, including the base, and had to run away. War boss is safe. Tier 2 first for Phoenix. Did a good job harassing the power. At least harassing. We haven't seen Adilla get on the power at all yet. Any flamers? Oh, we do see a flame here. Looks like he's going for it. Scouts decapping. Devastators are moving up. Need to be careful, of course, with a charging war boss, flanking sluggers, and jumping storm boys. All a major threat. Marines do get their flamer up, do they? Yes, they do. Here we go. Very good at bashing power is the old flamer. But they're going to be under threat pretty quickly here. Can they get something down? He's trying to target it to get both the node and the power generator here. And does get the node. The node being the more expensive thing to replace, but it does take longer to take down. Ouch. Storm boys jumped into a bit of trouble there. A lot of trouble. Might go down. In fact, they will go down. Jumped on the devastators, found themselves faced with shotgun scouts, flame attacks, and a tech marine all shooting at them. And we do have bionics in play from Adilla. War truck now for Phoenix. Adilla gaining some momentum here at the end of tier 2. At the end of tier 1, I should say. And beginning at tier 2 for Phoenix. Full power bash. Going for a grenade before those guys get out of there, I think. Maybe. He's waiting for them to retreat before he throws a grenade. Couldn't quite put it together there. I guess he threatened it. Devastators covering the power. Scouts retreat while the tech marine decaps. And Phoenix on the back foot. War truck is up. Sluggers are out in the field. There's Ard boys to help them take on these marines as a global buff of the war boss. And here's that war truck. Can transport and reinforce allied units across the field. Pretty damn useful for orcs who tend to drop pretty fast. If you can reinforce them as they fight, makes a big difference. They also deliver sluggers into a flanking position, all sorts of fun stuff. Sluggers now have their knob leader. There's that powerful sweep, sending the war boss flying. Didn't quite knock him over. And now we're going to see a power bash with double shooters, I think. And the war truck itself, which does have a big shooter mounted on top. Not sure of the DPS of that thing. Weird boy now for Phoenix. Adilla's choice is going to be really interesting here. Can they get a node? Scouts trying to repair it. They can't finish it off. Shooter boys getting back out to try and do so. Should focus down the scouts, I think. And yes, they do get them out of there. now shooting up some Marines. Here comes the war boss and he's angry. Charging in, does his stomp and maybe gets away. Tactical Marines trying to force close combat to finish him off, and now shoot him and down he goes. Some good power bashing, but losing the war boss is quite a big blow for Phoenix. Needs to repurchase. Nobody here to revive him, of course, in a 1v1. And it costs you at least 250 rec to revive a fallen hero. The price starts higher depending on the level and gradually drops to the base of 250. Oh wow, Weird Boy getting a really good basic attack on those Marines. Actually takes a model out. These guys now have a sergeant. We might see some Stone Guard veterans. There's that zap. Would have jumped to a nearby unit, but nothing was close enough for it to jump. So a lot of DAC suppressing the Devastators with aiming. What's that? Can a Weird Boy get a shot on these Devastators here? No. Trying to keep that Tech Marine disrupted, I guess. 317 to 386. These guys are turning into Stone Guard veterans, which is why they are crouching down strangely. There we go. First company, Tactical Marines that can change their ammo to combat all targets. These guys getting their Hellfire rounds loaded in. And now their bolters have scopes and these box magazines. Is pretty cool. Hellfire rounds doing damage over time to light infantry and hero units, which is basically everything in the Orc roster so far aside from the war truck. And for that they have vengeance rounds. Tech Marine eating a lot of DAC. Seems to be a good idea to focus that guy down with your shooter boys. Now upgraded with a Knob Leader, one of those fellas. Slug is looking very dangerous with their Knob Leader. There's a big chunk of power melee, that guy. Has a fair amount of hit points too. Massive threat to Marines. To Tactical Marines especially. These guys reinforcing. Devastators have spent very little time out of their own half of the map, I feel like. We saw them camping the power for a while. Look at this. Scouts being sneaky, trying to decap this power. But that's a lot of DAC. Didn't drop a model. They were probably in this light cover here from the crater. 311, 315 on the VPs. It's very, very close. Here comes a turret. Adilla getting a tarantula turret up. It's a twin-linked, well, a twin-linked heavy bolter, I guess. Good suppression and damage, especially if you try and get close to it. But it does have a minimum range. If you get into melee, it won't fire on you, and it obviously has this limited firing arc. You can try and get around it. It's covering a decent area there for Adilla. Weird Boy with his plasma cannon damage would do some good chunks on it. Warphead, Foot of Gork. Massive threat to the Devastators if you can catch them off guard. Warboss does some good work, but is seen off. We might see an attack from the north from the Orcs. 2-to-1 cap here for Phoenix. Trying to decap the mid 2 for a double. Here comes the war truck to deliver sluggers on these Devastators. Here we go. Oh, they go straight for the turret. They do not go for the Devastators there. They could have maybe got one of the models. But they do get rid of the turret pretty quickly there. Didn't achieve a whole lot for Adilla. I would say a strange choice, especially with a Weird Boy and a war truck in play. And no real dedicated anti-vehicle. We do have the Stone Guard veterans to use Vengeance rounds against the war truck, but there's not really much else. I suppose advanced targeting Vengeance rounds would do a lot of damage as well to the war truck if we can catch it. But the war truck's not going to stroll, or rather drive, into the limited firing arc of Devastators if we can at all help it. There's a lot of room to flank on this map. 252, 312. More Storm Boys for Phoenix. A cool choice. May not be the most strategically sound choice. They'll do a lot to Adilla's current roster, sure. Maybe that's enough. Maybe he's able to put enough pressure on here with these Storm Boys. Scouts in melee combat with shooter boys there, including the Knob Leader. And I guess, yep, the Knob Leader wins it for him, I suppose. Warboss starting to become a threat just with the angry bits, doing a hell of a lot of work charging his stuff. 229, 312 on the VPs. Orcs turning the map red to make it go faster. Here's the Storm Boys with their knobbied up. Immediately that guy is mean as hell with a heavy melee, huge chopper, and the ability to stun on landing when he jumps. Double cap here for Phoenix. Adila trying to recover with a Razorback, but he's under a lot of pressure here. Wasn't really able to maintain momentum with that end of tier 1 power bash and wiping the Shooter Boys. They don't really get a heavy hitting tier 2 unit out, did he? Stone Guard veterans were in play. Lots of upgrades. The turret was a waste, I think. But here's a Razorback now. Much like the war truck of the Orcs, allows you to reinforce and transport allied units. Packs more of an offensive punch than the war truck. It's a bit tougher too, I think. Starting at 400 hit points. The war truck starting at 350. That twin linked heavy bolter on top, doing some good work. It does not suppress like other heavy bolters, but some good anti-infantry damage. Allows you to deliver your Stone Guard veterans where they are needed. Tech Marine getting a decap, Scouts getting a decap, and Stone Guard veterans at the bottom, southwest, with their fast capping trait doing some work. War truck just has to threaten those Devastators with sluggers, and it gets the hell out of there. Doing some good work with this war truck is Phoenix. Where are the Storm Boys then? Good shotgun blast, but they're going to take some hits as they try and escape. Back onto the caps. Here are the Storm Boys, alongside the Weird Boy and the War Boss himself. You notice the Weird Boy has massive amounts of energy. He can get up to 1,000 at level 1. That's because his abilities cost tons of energy, and he needs to use the WAR ability of nearby units to help him regenerate it. So there is some positional micro involved with using the Weird Boy at maximum efficiency, which does come into play. Any micro pressure on the player does affect his performance, of course, in other areas and in each individual fight. He does have the Southwest VP now, Adila. 125 to 272, still a 2-to-1 cap for Phoenix, getting looters up, and I think that is a very good choice. Storm Boys, did they live? Did the Knob Leader live? I think he did. Here's some Daka. These guys using And They Shall Know No Fear to try and tank this damage, get a decap. They got the decap, surely they got to get out of here. There's a Razorback giving the smoke bomb buff, giving some damage resistance to these guys. I don't think it helps you out in melee combat though, fellas. And those guys, wow, they got wrecked. Did they get inside? I think they did get inside. See how quickly sluggers can tear apart a tactical marine squad when these guys are fully upgraded. Melter Gun Tech Marine still has bionics. He's level 4. War Boss getting in, messing up some Stone Guard who use And They Shall Know No Fear themselves. I believe it's charged up by taking damage, so it's not on a cooldown per se. Now tying up the Tech Marine. Beamy Gun looters out of range of the Razorback right now. Yeah, need to tie up those Marines. Do the sluggers. War Boss goes down. I was not paying attention to him. I suppose Phoenix wasn't either. Oh, Stone Guard getting the reinforce when they needed it. And did sluggers get Calder Boys there? I think they maybe did. Calder Boys is a global ability of all of the Orc heroes. War Truck goes down. Melter Gun, enough to deal with it. Level 5 Tech Marine now. Idle Scouts having capped that wreck point. Are we going to see him? Nope, only one of the VPs being taken, unless there's something inside here. I think there is. You can see that Sacred Standard poking out the top, or rather just a standard. Only the Force Commanders is sacred. Decapping. Can you get a triple cap here, Adila? Storm Boys really need to start paying for themselves by killing stuff. If they could just find an isolated tactical marine squad or the stern guard, jump on it, stun it, that's it. They have to retreat. Probably. Unless the tech marine is there to powerful sweep or the scouts are there to shotgun blast, they probably need to retreat out of that. Which obviously really helps you in the rest of the fight. 112 to 230. So it makes stuns so powerful, units are likely just to retreat out of them rather than deal with what's going to come being stunned. Slugger's looking for a power bash again. War boss taking some damage, having been repurchased. They should have enough to deal with this Razorback in terms of damage output. The Beamy, we got the Weird Boy attacks and the Storm Boy Knob Leader if he can get on it. It's a big if. These guys burning stuff down. Adilla has Vengeance rounds still loaded in, which is strange since there's no vehicle around. Doing some decent damage to the Weird Boy, but they should be using Kraken, but down goes the Weird Boy anyway. Kraken is what you use against heroes and heavy infantry, and Vengeance is vehicles and super heavy infantry. But it did the job there. 112 to 171. Storm Boy is still in play, but they are getting mighty, mighty low. Very surprised that I haven't seen a single usage that I have noticed of use your choppers, since that was reduced in cost in 2.8. We haven't actually seen it used in this game. I haven't noticed it in a way. Tech Marine went down, which is a big bonus for the Phoenix. For Phoenix, I should say, because that melter gun is painful. And of course, powerful sweep is pretty painful too. When you've got sluggers and storm boys. We don't have a Weird Boy anymore though. He super died. Stone Guard are back, still using their Vengeance rounds. Not sure what's up with that, but they're doing painful things to units still. And they're going for a power bash. Nope, going down to the southwest to try and cap. As you can see, Adilla can't afford to revive his hero right now. 108 to 152. Orcs need to come out of base roaring here. And whying. Level 4 War Boss getting a cap. He's done well for the most part, this fella. Scouts gonna annoy him with some shotguns. He does not charge him. And retreats? No, he's just backing away here. There we go, now he's in retreat. Maybe he's just trying to block line of sight, try and get the scouts to move closer and then charge him. These Marines, level 4, still have their Flamer, which they can change out of. One of the bonuses of being a tactical Marine. You can change your specialized weapon whenever you like, as long as you pay for it. Sluggers with no Knob Leader going after those Devastators there. Unable to deal with the Razorback so far. Storm Boy's trying to get on it, but Adilla's been generally live to any threat. Storm Boy's now switching target. Maybe they could have stayed on the Razorback a little bit longer, got some more damage on, which would have forced these scouts back there to repair, but in fact down they go. Storm Boys. The damage over time from the Hellfire rounds really helping take them out on retreat. Death Dread now for Phoenix, and the Tech Marine joins us, revived by Adilla. Level 6 this guy now has the Refractor Field up, which is unique among shields. As you can see there, debuffs the accuracy of anyone shooting at the Tech Marine, which is pretty useful, but does not provide knockback immunity, which most other shields will give you. Yep, used the Razorback very well so far. Really struggled to get damage on it as Phoenix. They did keeping it just out of range of those looters. Where are they? Back at base. Here's that Death Dread. Walker unit for Orcs. Heavy melee. Can mince infantry pretty well. And he's getting a burners of bits. For 300 more hit points, which is a hell of a lot. Considering it only starts with 650. Going after the Razorback. Don't think it's going to be able to catch it though. But look at this. Orcs coming back with some capping. Double cap though for Adilla right now. Tons of red for Phoenix. Look at this. 958 red. Where are the user choppers? So many times the sluggers and the storm boys have been in and he hasn't used it. They've got him the extra model, maybe even a squad wipe. Tactical Marine switching to a missile launcher in response to the Death Dread. Scouts being very brave. Oh, now they're going infiltrated today. Tech Marine needs to be kept at bay. Looters too easily seen off there. Did not have a screen in front of them. And in fact, there's a concede by Phoenix. Just could not deal with the Razorback at all. Made a massive difference for Adilla. A good back and forth though. Good play from both players. Let's look at his Tech Marine end of the game. Had Orbs of the Omnissiah, level 6. We also have a level 4 War Boss still. No weapon for this guy. Poor War Boss. There you have it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey people, Indrid here, back with some Elite League Season 2. This is Outer Reaches, and say hello again to Phoenix, rocking a Chaos Sorcerer this time, offensive and disruptive hero with some powerful battlefield manipulation. This is the Night Lord's Elite Scheme. Up against, on the red side, kick in with an Apothecary support hero that fights in melee combat by default, begins with a targeted heal and a passive health regeneration aura. Outer Reaches then, big old map, pretty good one though. Double scouts for kicking, no marines. Can we see a no marine build, please? Just scouts, vehicles, I guess terminators would be okay, and a librarian. That would be fun. Phoenix with double heretics either side of these Chaos Space Marines. Look at this, they got lightning bolts and stuff. It's like a death metal album cover. There must be a band called the Night Lords. Pretty good elite scheme those fellas have. Looks like we're going to see some Sorcerer on Scout action in the northeast as they clash. Double Heretics both going up there, since CSM can look after themselves a little bit better than a bunch of cultists with 75 hit points each, and who bunch up way too much. Look at that, you're just asking for like a plasma cannon shot or something, fellas. Good thing you're still in tier 1. Start off as a basic melee squad, their trick being that they can blow themselves up, doing a chunk of damage and suppressing nearby enemies, which makes them a pretty effective melee deterrent, blowing yourself up and all. They got some swords and I guess auto pistols. Heretics are awesome. CSM shooting off some scouts, which they will do all day long. Are you going to cap, fellas? Just cap. What are the scouts going to do to you with bolters? Nothing. We might see double shotguns here against double heretics. Sorcerer's going to engage, looking to throw out some doom bolts, I guess. That's a very good doom bolt target. Look how close together they were there. He should have thrown it out. Now he throws it out. Not as effective. Wow, Purification Rites heal from the Apothecary, just wrecking those heretics there. Well, the heretics did what they usually do. Ran in, hit some stuff, blew themselves up, had a good time, and retreated out. If you don't lose all your heretics, it's always a victory, I say. Sorcerer does get away too. Now needs to be very careful. Gonna run into shotguns and that Purification Rites heal. I guess he doesn't want to send his melee heretics both on the same target anymore. Noise Marines in play now from Phoenix. These guys with a Sonic Blaster to disable ranged attacks, do a bunch of damage, and shake down some generators. They love that stuff. They've also got some like skin stretched over their pauldrons, so they mean business. Gonna shoot up the Apothecary here. Maybe make him dance with the Sonic Blaster. Nope, he's not interested in noise right now. These guys using their faster capping to cap. Surprise, surprise. And we might see everyone gather up for a big 1v1 showdown here. These heretics looking a little bit worried. Down to 2 models. Still standing as close as they possibly can to each other, so that grenades and flamers or whatever you want can kill them instantly. 482, 499. Some Zinchian worship, giving some infiltration to Phoenix's units. Always useful. Heretics here with an aspiring champion. Now they are much more viable as a melee force. This guy gives the other models more hit points and is a pretty good melee fighter himself. Also causes their Doom Blast to do more damage, since the damage of the Doom Blast is scaled off the health of the unit that explodes. Good shotgun blast. Nice purification rights. Can Phoenix get up now and do some fighting? Noise Marines staying out of trouble for the most part. Not sure where those fellas are going. Oh, they're split up very strangely there. Scouts might go down, and they do go down. It's already a good engagement for Phoenix, I think. Don't lose your heretics, and you've done really well here. Tactical Marines dropping model. There's a Doom Blast to help escape. Marines get away with 2. Cacophony here, knocking everything down. Not even a superhuman 7'5" soldier in power armor can withstand noise, it turns out. It must be very, very noisy. 435, 499 on the VPs, 1-to-1 cap, and everyone runs away to heal up, I suppose. Aside from the apothecary, because he can heal himself. What a cheater. More scouts for kicking. Well, those are fellas with the shotguns. Maybe they both had shotguns, but these guys have them too. And a sergeant. Look at this from Phoenix. Double Heretic, CSM, Noise Marines, and now some Raptors. Jump troops with 30 DPS, close combat, and they can suppress you when they land, which is pretty useful. Going to be looking to jump on those Marines. Look at the difference in rosters here. 5 units against 3, and both heroes still up. Gonna need to try and outmaneuver here, kick in, or maybe get something else on the field. These heretics still dangerously close to death with 2 models, but being looked after so far. 418 to 499. We're gonna get some decapping going on the VPs. Maybe these fellas, fresh scouts with their piddly little bolters. Gonna try and kill those heretics, but CSM were there. Now power bash from the Noise Marines. Might see a grenade as the heretics approach. Nope, Raptors approach first from the sky and suppress ya. Sanguine Chainsword in play now for the apothecary, healing him on hit. Also heals him on bolt pistol shots. That was a very, very good grenade. Very good grenade. Killed a Raptor and a bunch of heretics. Forcing both of those squads off. Beautifully done by Kickin. Now I've got some Devastators who have seen some action already. CSM able to get into melee combat with those guys until they hit the base turrets in a way. Setting up again on the Devastators. Can't quite get shots on though. Tier 2 for Phoenix. Could get a nasty Blood Crusher up here in decent time. Especially after a power bash. It wasn't a full bash. The node is still there. But everything got out okay. Got some reinforcing to do. One of the big changes in 2.8 of course was that CSM now cost more upkeep. They cost a standard upkeep rate, which they didn't before for whatever reason. You know, balance and having to reinforce heretics, something like that. But now they do. So we'll see how it affects Chaos in this Elite League. 406, 499, 1-to-1 cap. We've got a Sword of Flame on the way for the Chaos Sorcerer. Pretty good name for a thing if you were choosing something to have. Can I have a Sword of Flame, please? Sets fellas on fire. And also gives you Coruscating Flame, which also sets people on fire, but in a good way. Sets your own fellas on fire to then hurt other people. But he didn't use it. Why did you not use Pulsating Flame then on your Raptors? Drop Pod comes in for kicking. There are some rumblings that the Drop Pod for Space Marines is maybe a bit too strong. Delivering Tactical Marines wherever you want for a lower requisition cost and also acting as a retreat point is pretty damn good. As you can see, Kicking getting right on the power of this sudden bolster to his forces. We'll see how that plays out in the coming update to Elite Mod. Blood Crusher on the way for Phoenix. Kicking in a good position to respond if he can get to tier 2. He's got 2 squads of Marines which could get missile launchers. He's got Devastators up, could get a las cannon. And of course, combat stims from the Apothecary could buff the damage of any of those things. Good Doom Bolts. Those Marines lucky to get away without a model loss there. CSM now getting suppressed and have to run away. Do you have Vestments of the Warp? You don't. So you can't teleport on them. But here's a Blood Crusher. It's a Bloodletter riding a Juggernaut. Isn't that fun? He's even got a little handle over there. Does some heavy melee damage, can charge, and also do some kind of roar thing. Demonic Roar, I think they call it. To scare stuff away momentarily. Getting right in on the Devastators. Special attack did pretty good. Takes out a model. He does like 90 something heavy melee DPS. Is pretty good. Single target damage. Doesn't have a splash. And also doesn't have melee resistance. So he's kind of pretty squishy, that guy. Just 600 hit points on a melee unit. Single entity vehicle where anti-vehicle weapons do massive chunks. Often means it goes down pretty fast. We'll see. He's a demon, so can benefit greatly from worship, getting health regen and other sorts of good stuff. Heretics take it down a Marine on retreat. How many cultists do you think it would actually take to kill a single Marine in like the lore? Probably like 30 at least, I would say. At least. If they've just got regular swords like that, like 100. I guess the Doom Blast would still hurt a Marine. That chaotic warp magic blastiness. Uh-oh, las cannon on the Blood Crusher now. That was just 2 shots. It's down to half hit points. Any other kind of supplementary anti-vehicle, that thing's going to go down so fast. Where are the other attacks? No sign of a missile launcher. Beautiful grenade bite. Wow. Kicking is up on his grenade game right now. That was an awesome retreat grenade. Perfectly predicted the path around the ruins. And, yep, Heretics bunching up, getting themselves killed by a grenade this time. They just love dying. Raptors now with an aspiring champion. Melt Pistol and Power Fist. Such an awesome squad leader, this guy. As squad leaders should be. Level 3 Apothecary. Now he has a slightly improved heal. Look at the map though. It's very blue. These guys now attacking a drop pod. And down it goes. Get some XP, some red. 15's not bad. That's what you get for killing a Marine, I think. Or maybe it's 18. Level 2 Scouts. Is he going to go for this VP and try and lock it out? Try and set up the devs to face south. Oh, we have Blast Master Noise Marines too. I probably would have kept them with their Sonic Blaster. That thing can still be really freaking useful, tier 2. Raptors having a look. Is that Zinchian worship? Great for the Blood Crusher. What's a Sorcerer up to? Do have a Turn of War up on the CSM. And Marco Zinch. He's pretty good at shooting Marines. He's just going to go for the VP, and why not? Left it wide open. Does get the northeast though. Only 2 generators up here for Phoenix. Certainly got a lot of power costed stuff on the field though. Here we go. Maybe. Apothecary is going to run into these raptors. Those heretics are in trouble. So they get away. Blastmaster getting shots. The Blood Crusher now doesn't have any worship support on the field. Can't quite get a shot on Mr. Blastmaster. He's upset. Can he just hit this Apothecary here? Don't think he has vision. I guess they don't have vision. Headline of sight, but they units can't see forever in Dawn of War 2. Although we can. From the replay, we have vision for all the units. Kicking, maneuvering all the way around to the power. Looks like they're going to trade powers here. Who can bash the fastest? Scouts trying to do some work. Behind some heavy cover. Holding out longer than they would. But power is going to be wiped on both sides, I would think. Sorcerer also getting a decap. And in fact, a cap on this wreck point. Nobody wanting to engage. I would think Phoenix would have the advantage in a stand-up fight. I think he's just wary of how much an Apothecary can change an engagement with Purification Rites. The heal and the disruption and the damage. That's a big turnaround. Marco Zinc CSM though, and if you can get the Raptors on him, he would go down pretty fast. Bloodletters now hitting the field for Phoenix. Demons with power melee weapons. Their buddy riding a Juggernaut over here. The fella riding a Juggernaut doesn't seem to do much though. He steers it and basically that's it. Doesn't attack or anything. There's some Zinchian worship. Bloodletters. I'm not sure if he spotted those Bloodletters before they infiltrated there. But they're going after the Devastators and he's been spotted. Oh wow. Awesome special attack on those heretics there. Oh, Chains of Torment. From the Robes of Torment of the Sorcerer. Bloodletters taking a lot of damage. Might need to warp shift out here. And there we go. They are now warp shifted. They can't attack. They can't cap. But they will also take 0 damage. And can't be knocked over either. Okay, decent engagement for Phoenix. Needs to be a little bit more careful with his heretics. He's really putting them in the front of death before he has them worship, it seems. They're a prime target when they're worshipping Tzeentch because they're the only thing you can see. Plague Marines now coming out for Phoenix. A heavy tier 2. And why not? He's got some powerful stuff on the field. Bloodletters did drop a model but are now capping. Why Demons would ever cap a point, I have no idea. Marco Zinc CSM getting an aspiring champion. And delivering some decent damage to this Apothecary. Looks like he might be able to finish that cap though. Blood Crusher getting in. This might be the end of him. We have Plasma Gun. Oh! Gets teleported out by the Sorcerer. It's not the end of him at all. What was I thinking? Awesome global ability of the Sorcerer. Makes him pretty damn good at supporting his vehicles actually. Could be very aggressive and then just get him out of trouble. 3-2-4, 3-2-3. Too much for you to deal with, CSM. A good Blastmaster hit though on those scouts. Almost finished them off. Plague Marines now in play. Taking shots from my lads, kind of not doing a good job hitting them though. And they're not doing a good job hitting anything either. Another good Blastmaster hit. Where is Phoenix's stuff? I guess he's capping. Look how blue the map is right here. Another good grenade from Phoenix, from Kicking, sorry. But Phoenix has done a great job playing the map game here. There's a direct hit, I think, from the Plague Marines on those Tactical Marines. Are you going to heal him? Mr. Apothecary must have used it already. Sorcerer's a little bit isolated here. Has to retreat. Raptors coming back into play, level 2 now. Can get a good jump on those Marines, shut down that dangerous plasma gun, but here's some Bloodletters on the other squad, and this is going to be so very, very painful. When I say that, are they going to drop a model? They do drop a model. They drop the Sergeant, in fact. Sergeant goes down. Yeah, Bloodletters really kick your ass in melee. I guess Kickin knows there's something over here if those heretics are worshipping. A plasma gun is so dangerous to heavy armor. 30 DPS just on that single plasma gun. Kickin can't seem to get out of his own half of the map here. Just doesn't have an answer to the amount of different threats that Phoenix is bringing. You've got a vehicle, you've got jump troops, you've got more jump troops. Here are the Raptors. You've got a powerful range superiority squad with these guys. Here's a drop pod. Delivering some more Marines. These guys using and they shall know no fear, but they can't stand against the Raptors for too long. Wow, getting chopped up. Chopped up badly. Dark Flames on retreat. Is that enough to finish off these fellas? Doom Bolts flies in as well, but they do survive. 324-209. Really good engagement for Phoenix. Really good engagement. Lads kind of getting shots. Also the Blood Crusher has broken line of sight now. And there's Bloodletters on capping duty, but I'm not sure if they're going to finish the cap. They get the decap. Can this guy escape now? Is it just the las cannon that's the anti-vehicle? I think it is. Yep. And there's no combat stims or anything. Should be okay. It's hiding right now. He does slowly regenerate health, the Blood Crusher. But nothing of any significance to heal up between fights or anything. Bloodletters not reinforcing. Phoenix goes tier 3. Massive tier 2 investment. Uses it to dominate and goes tier 3 in good time. Blood Crusher having some fun with the Marines. Frustrating them. Here comes Phoenix again. Yeah, I mean, kicking this fight off with a Chains of Torment is rough. Rough for kicking. Look at those Marco Zinc CSM with the damage on those Tactical Marines. Dodging a grenade, yes. But they are forced to retreat. Been really good with his grenades so far, kicking. Blood Crusher still hanging out. Raptors coming from the north, maybe to head off any scouts or anything that were trying to get up there. And they're going to bash a power node, I think. Yes, they are. And do a decent job of it with the power fist. Oh, they've given up. Because the fight's kicking off, and they like fighting. Blastmaster get tied up. There's that Chains of Torment again, and there's a nuke from Phoenix. Might kill his own Raptors if he's not careful. Looks like they do get away. Didn't quite hit it sweetly. Right in the middle of the stuff. They retreated away from it rather than through it. But a very good idea. Doom Bolts flies in. Tactical Marines in trouble, but they've now reinforced, and a las cannon's getting shots on. Blood Crusher is going to go down unless you can warp it out. It does go down. But it's tier 3, and the Blood Crusher did a hell of a lot of work. Here comes a Chaos Predator. Librarian now on the field for kicking. A good boon for the las cannon. Here we go. Veil of Time means it does not need to set up anymore. Can he take out these heretics here? I think he's going to be able to chase them down. They're not going to be able to retreat through, that's for sure. Down they go. Sorcerer gets a special. And now flees. So a shaky ending to tier 2 for Phoenix, but we'll see what tier 3 brings. At the moment, it brings the Chaos Predator. The Sorcerer did escape, as will these Plague Marines. Raptors almost level 3. Bloodletters also into level 2. Here's that Chaos Predator. Are we going to see a mark? We do. We see Mark of Khorne buffing the damage of all of the guns. 2-to-1 cap. Kickin's running out of time. Needs to get on that VP, and he's not. Looks like these fellas are going for it. It's going to be tight. Should have sent those tactical marines surely after it. Still a 2-to-1 kick in. You want to cap something? Nope, he's going to power bash. Okay, these guys are going for it. After they cap the wreck point, they're going for it. Very strange that he left it that late. I guess he's going after this one too. Blastmaster misfires. Tank on the prowl. The biggest threat to it, of course, being the last cannon, which is in base right now. There's a single for kicking. A little bit late to respond to this cap. Those scouts might even finish it. Oh wow, it was a tank shot. Are they going to get away? Heretics are there. They don't get away. Is it worth getting that cap and losing your scouts? It might be. It might be. Now a single still from kicking. Throws out the smite, does a librarian, and back on the cap with the apothecary. Phoenix being very slow to respond here. Raptors on capping duty though, and are going to punch down this power node. They've lost their aspiring champion though. 281, 13 on the VPs. Lascannon seen off the field pretty quickly. Doesn't want that thing getting Lascannon shots on his tank. There's that Chains of Torment, but very quickly you see kicking, turning the guns on the central mass, which brings it down. Now the Librarian in trouble here. In big trouble. There's Angels of Death. Global ability of the Apothecary, giving all of his infantry units 50% damage resistance and knockback immunity, but it doesn't save the Librarian. It's an awesome ability to use though in those big late clutch fights though. 252 to 13. And they shall know no fear on the Tactical Marines. Does it save them? Does it help them get away? Scouts did not get away. Looks like the Tactical Marines maybe will get out. 84 hit points. The tank could maybe chase them and finish them, but does not. Stoneguard veterans with vengeance rounds are a threat. Could not afford to try and chase and take great armor hits there. Triple cap for kicking. But Phoenix is on all the VPs now. This could be it. Noise Marine trying to get a cap. Can he get onto his natural quickly enough here, kicking? He's got 3 units, and there is the concession for kicking. Phoenix takes the victory. Well done. Pretty dominant performance, it felt like. Very strong tier 2. Invested heavily and made it pay off with some aggressive pushing on that natural VP there. Kicking couldn't really respond. Didn't invest in responding quickly enough. Lost his power. Couldn't really get it back. It was tough. Level 5 Apothecary there. Level 5 Chaos Sorcerer too. There you have it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you over in the next one. Hey people, Indrid here, back with some Elite League gameplay. This is Fedrid Folly and Phoenix versus Kicking again. We've got a Force Commander over here, strong melee combatant, can also tank, disrupt and support with buffs. This is the Imperial Fists Elite scheme for Kicking, a war boss, melee hero that can walk through objects, very good offense, disruption and support from the front lines. As a reminder, each player chooses 5 heroes before the Elite League starts, and they can only choose one of those heroes once in each series. So these guys could not choose Sorcerer and Apothecary again, since it's the same set. Into the second game, I believe the loser chooses the map, so this would have been Kicking's choice. Got some scouts for Phoenix either side of Tactical Marines and double shooters for kicking. No real surprises. Good old Fedrid Folly with these natural VPs in this kind of northwestern corner here. Pretty close together. Shooter boys staying together as you'd expect. See if they can... If they run into Tactical Marines, it's much better for them to be together. If the Marines take cover though, or get in for close combat, they probably still lose that fight against a single tac squad. But here comes a war boss, and he generally doesn't want to shoot you. He wants to smash your skull in. Trying to position himself for a stomp, is he? Nope. That's a special attack though, a very good special attack. Shooter boy's not really moving enough for me. I guess he wants to keep the Tactical Marines in place to get his war boss in. That was a stomp. War boss seemed to lose his target for a moment there. And I think the Marines are going to get away without a model loss. Yep. Force Commander comes in with a special. Did the Shooter boys drop anything? They dropped 2 models, so not the end of the world for kicking. Now Battle Cry is up, so the war boss is going to get frustrated, not even able to get a hit on. His attack animation is pretty long, whereas the Force Commander attacks pretty quickly. Generally good for sustained melee fights, quick attacks. 485, 500. He's swinging. Here comes some Shooter boys now to bring some Dakar. Scouts also in play. Sluggers running away from something. I guess another scout squad over there. They had their burners up. Do we have shotguns? Nope. So I guess they just used their speed to frustrate those sluggers over there. Warboss needs to be careful. There's the retreat. Yeah, Force Commander really doing some work here. Tanked so much stuff. Slugger boys coming back out of base. Up to 720 hit points with the health increase of the burners. No bleed up. And nothing for these Shooter boys. Do we have a flamer to bash power? They are heading towards that power. No sign of a flamer right now. Shotguns. And that's it. Oh, we do have a sergeant for these fellas too. But they're not pushing towards the power. Here comes the war boss now with his boys alongside him. Scouts going for the VP. Force Commander healing up, is he? Yep. Scouts. Sorry, the Orcs need to push while the Force Commander's off the field, I feel like. Because as you saw, he makes a massive difference in these fights. More so than most heroes. I mean, all of the heroes obviously have a big impact. But a Force Commander early on for the Space Marines can really turn those early engagers on their head with his battle cry. And the fact that he can just stand toe-to-toe with melee squads, whereas the other Space Marine heroes don't really want to do that first engagement. 485, 440. Double cap here for the Space Marines. Pain Boy on the field for kicking. Support hero for Pain Boy, a sub-commander I guess, can do a very handy heal over time ability to Orcs and get stuck into melee himself. Force Commander's found some Orcs. These guys with a knob leader. Bolt pistol does some damage. Can he get a model here? He's shooting the crap out of that guy and does get him. Now some Dakar brought to bear. Really has struggled to deal with this Force Commander early on. Retreats out. Didn't want to take too much damage and then get caught by the sluggers as he retreated, so retreats early. Now probably won't be able to stand and trade with these Orcs. As you can see, everything backing the hell away. Tactical Marines taking heavy cover. Getting some shots in as they can. Not able to get a model though off the sluggers. It's going to be a 2-to-1. Being baited into chasing his Marines here. Not bashing, not capping with these guys. Some shrewd play from Phoenix. Here comes shotgun scouts. They have a grenade too. Bad news for sluggers trying to close in. Force Commander ignores the Pain Boy. Goes straight for the sluggers who are trying to burn down the gens. Not a good fight for the sluggers to take. I guess they have the heal over time, and there is the heal over time. It does hit them with an initial burst of healing too. And then the heal over time kicks in. Battle cry getting to work. Yep, and the heal over time allows the sluggers to stay in and maybe take down this force command here. They do take him down. Kicken knows what he's doing. Don't listen to Indrid saying that was a bad fight. Pain Boy's right there. Trying to get in. Their pistols look impressively large for how useless they are, Orcs. Nice grenade on those sluggers, but they are just charging right through it with that Pain Boy healing. Speaking of Pain Boy, he needs some healing of his own. He's getting very, very low here. Don't think they can shoot him down. No, he'll be okay. Sluggers also getting out. So they did some chopping, but they didn't really gain much of the map here. I guess the force commander going down is a big bonus. Scouts have been whacked somewhere, which I wasn't paying attention to at all. Phoenix has his power up. Shooter Boy is getting caught in the melee by attacks. Can he get some more models off as they retreat? No. Looks like no. Unless you fellas. No. 425 to 345. Map's pretty even. Although it is going to be a 2-to-1 cap on the VPs. Which is what matters in the end. Phoenix looking very depleted in tier 2 with just 2 squads. What's he got up his sleeve? No war gear for the war boss. Nope, no war gear for the force commander either. His Terminator armor was increased in cost in 2.8 by, I believe it's only 10 power more, like 75 power from 65. Still well worth it, I think. Dreadnought on the way for Phoenix. Kicken will need some serious AV for that thing. Doesn't have anything right now that can transition into AV apart from the war boss himself with the claw, which is a dicey fight getting into melee with a melee dreadnought, assuming that dreadnought stays in melee. And why not? The sluggers are proving to be a pain in the arse with that Pain Boy support. I suspect the dreadnought will clear them out though. Shooter Boy is bashing some power, 398 to 343. Dreadnought hitting the field now-ish. Not sure if he'll stomp over here in time to stop this bash though. There he is. Begins with 2 close combat weapons and a wrist-mounted flamer. Warboss runs off. Here comes the Pain Boy. Is he going in to try and tie him up? Nope. Has some serious second thoughts about that. They did bash all the gens and maybe even the node here. Well done, Kicking. Yes, no bleeder in play now for the sluggers. They don't want to fight the dreadnought though. Just minces them. Look at that. 100 DPS heavy melee with a 40 damage splash per hit. Which is the important part when he's fighting squads like that. Just tears through them. Scouts doing a good job staying on these VPs for Phoenix. Death Dread now for Kicking. We do have tank busters in play to shoot some rockets at that dreadnought. Pretty damn good anti-vehicle squad, I think. Have also the rocket barrage thing, which is pretty handy and can deliver massive bursts of damage to a vehicle. Oh, look at this. Dreadnought transitions to an assault cannon. So not quite as threatening to the sluggers. Still a big threat. It still does like 73 heavy melee, but no longer... I think he no longer has a splash, or maybe he keeps the splash but no longer has melee resistance for sure. Does he keep the splash? I want to see now. I'm curious. I've forgotten. Tank Buster Barrage. Dreadnought was still, but they still miss it. Didn't even need to move. Just had faith in the Emperor. Tank Buster's now getting volleys in. Use your choppers on the sluggers. Are they going to die? Are they going to get the force commander? Rather, they do. Second time he's gone down. Death Dread with melee resistance might actually do some work now to this Space Marine Dreadnought. Really did not expect that assault cannon to come up. 2-to-1 cap here. kick in with a massive numbers advantage. Especially with that force commander down too. That's 7 entities on the field against 3. Drop pod. Submarines. Get used to seeing a lot of that in Elite League. Seems to be the current meta. Get lots of tactical marines and drop them in and all sorts of good stuff. Why not? Tactical marines are awesome. Force commander's back to his feet. Scouts caught from 2 sides. This could be really bad. Really bad. Only 2 models dropped. Consider yourselves lucky, Scouts. We do have some Stern Guard veterans for Phoenix. Hellfire rounds loaded in to damage overtime on light infantry, and the Force Commander himself will also take it. Gonna finish the cap feathers. Well done. Now I need to retreat. Is that a triple? I think it's gonna be a triple for the Orcs. Might not be for very long, but I think it will be. There it is. Phoenix trying to keep his stuff together, force the Orcs to approach, maybe get off a nice barrage with the assault cannon dreadnought, and maybe a grenade as things come in. Don't think he wants to approach the Orcs really. Stronger Git Source up for the Pain Boy. Makes his initial heal and the heal over time better, like a lot better as well. It's a big difference. Sacred Standard for the Force Commander. Constant damage buffs all around him. Pretty damn useful. Especially if you can get a nice nasty grenade in there. Okay, Orcs are approaching. We'll see how the Space Marines can hold up here. Pouring some damage on the Pain Boy, has to use his hit over time on himself. Here we go. Needs to use the barrage before they get too close to use it. And I think they are maybe too close. He did not use the barrage. Now the Death Dread is tying it up, but it's being taken down by buffed up tactical marines. They might have had For the Emperor on them too, because that was some crazy damage. For the Emperor is a global ability of the Force Commander. Oh, tank busters going down. Good engage, really good engagement for the Space Marines. Really good engagement, despite not using the barrage there. Warboss is not happy. He's got his Power Claw, he's got Use Your Choppers, and he's going after this Dreadnought hard here. Dreadnought trying to get backed into base turret range for some suppression support. One more hit would do it if the Warboss can get in there. Just took a missile to the face, but does take down the Dreadnought. Evens up that engagement a bit. A lot, actually. Because now those tank busters aren't even needed, really. Pain Boy is not going to fight the Force Corner, I guess. Probably wise. It does damage over time, Pain Boy, but I don't think his DPS overall is that large. Just ignoring him, going for the VP, is he? I don't know what he's up to. Just dragging him to the Dakar. Okay. 338, 241. Your plan worked, Pain Boy. Oh, and they got a power basher over here. Didn't even notice that. Not sure what got the power bash. Was it the sluggers? Or was it just a power bash from ages ago? That power claw's a massive threat now. You're just going to charge in on the Marines, right? And what can they do? If the scouts aren't there to shotgun him, they're screwed. I guess the Force Gunner can chase him down with battle cry. But then he's not battle crying sluggers. Here comes the Warboss. Runs into the wreck point, which will stop you in your tracks. But does scare them the hell away too. Thunderhammer on the way for the Force Commander. Perhaps expected a little bit earlier, maybe before the Sacred Standard. I think the Sacred Standard was there to help him take down the Death Dread easily. But that Thunderhammer is amazing. Daka on the power node. Painboy gets the cap. But the War Boss does not finish taking the VP. Maybe a mistake. Here comes that Force Commander. Getting his Artificer too. Make him a bit tougher. And more than a match for these sluggers, you would think. Smack. Just painful. Just so painful. Now up to 1061 hit points at level 2 with some decent health regen too. Single cap here for the Orcs. Tier 3 for kicking. Now has to deal with a Razorback. Does not have those tank buses anymore. User choppers on the sluggers. But they are being thrown around. As a bad time to use it, I feel like. He knew the battle cry was active. Did the Painboy just blow himself up? I think he did. I think the Painboy just used unstable fuel injection on himself. I assume by mistake from kicking. But that was a very, very orky thing to happen. It might have been that it was just a slugger that blew up and the Painboy just got shot down. But it sure looked like the Painboy blew up. And yeah, that was pretty bad. Pretty bad for kicking. Does have a looted tank on the way. 295 to 236. Phoenix has made some really good purchase choices here. Now he's bashing power too. Looted tank will be a threat, but he does have Stern Guard veterans and tactical marines, and of course they can be damage buffed like crazy by the Force Commander for the Emperor and the Sacred Standard and Battle Cry. Scouts dropping a model, but they're doing a really good job getting these VPs. Made a massive difference. Is he going to engage? No. What are you doing, War Boss? Charging there. Waiting for the tank. These Marines might have to retreat. Can he get inside the Razorback? Maybe not. Pathing was screwed up there. I think he was trying to get them in the Razorback, the way the Razorback came back. This could be a... wow. One rear armor shot. Did massive damage there. Looted tank is now switching targets. Frustratingly for kicking. Still chasing though. Down it goes. Just 2 shots on rear armor. And it was dealt with. 295, 202. Phoenix has done a really good job getting the map back. But now looking depleted. Has a lot of resources. The next purchase is going to be key. Does it go tier 3 and try and get Terminators up? Got a lot of red. It's a big risk though. It's a big risk. That tier 3 upgrade takes a while. Of course you can't purchase anything else in that time, so it could take a long time to respond to all this stuff. Slugger's doing a good job holding things up. Level 3 these guys now. Been chopping stuff pretty well. We have Vengeance Round, Stern Guard and Missile Tactical Marine chasing on his tank. He needs to keep it moving, I think. Kicking this is bad. Now facing the rear of the tank are these guys, but they can't chase it down. War Boss charging in. Who in turn has to retreat. Looks like he saved the tank though. The tank lives. These guys I don't think will if they try and cap this. Yeah, you need to get away. And they should not fear on the Stern Guard just to make sure they tank that should avoid damage and don't take a loss. Another Dreadnought here for Phoenix. Is he going to go multi-melter? One of the rarest upgrades that you ever see in Dawn of War 2. The Space Marine Dreadnought with a multi-melter. Short range anti-everything damage. Can try and chase down a tank with it. And blow up some orcs with it. Would be hella fun to see. No sign of anything yet. 2-1 for kicking. Is getting a natural back though is Phoenix. Might run into some shooter boys too. And with the Thunderhammer we'll make short work of him. Devastators now for Phoenix. Las Cannon maybe for the tank. This guy's staying in melee for now. 1-1. Been a close fought thing so far. Kicking is in tier 3 though. We know how crazy that Orky tier 3 can be. How much power does they have? Pretty close to starting a Nob squad up. We need a bunch more resources to fully upgrade them, of course. They're crazy expensive, a Nob squad, to fully upgrade. Here they come. Thunderhammer will help greatly. A melee Dreadnought will help greatly, but it's going for the Assault Cannon again. Might regret that when he sees the Nob squad. We'll see. Still has shotguns. These guys can use their Kraken rounds against the heavily armored Nobs as well. And these guys, if they take down the looted tank, can transition into a plasma gun. But still a hell of a lot to deal with. It's like dealing with this army and then dealing with the Nobs. It's like a separate army. You have to fight the Nob squad. And here they come. Elite tier 3 melee infantry. Heavy melee damage. Massive bucket of hit points. And awesome upgrades. They're going for meaner and greener immediately, which is generally what we want to do first to get frenzy up. How much red does he have to use it though? It is 75 red per pop, which is a lot. People forget that. How expensive it is to keep popping frenzy. Morbus has found some scouts. Smack. You survived. They both survived. Amazing. Nob squad will happily fight a Dreadnought that doesn't have melee resistance. Just eating shots here though. Really determined to get this decap. And gets it. Took a big chunk of damage though. Stern Guard getting a bit too close. Running into a tank shot. Where's the war boss up to? Just locking down his VP, I guess.
We shall make it so.
Wonder if he'll use... Yeah, he's going to bring the scouts over. Maybe looking at those Nobs. Wanting that shotgun blast around. Assault squad in play. Getting their sergeant for that merciless strike. The more disruption the better when you're fighting a Nob squad. Las Cannon now setting up, so the tank does not want to approach this side. Not going to be easy. Just because you have a Nob squad, it's not easy to approach this. Here we go. There's Frenzy. Granting massive damage reduction and also suppression immunity. There's a jump. Did it have Melter Bomb? Nope. Not on the way. Nob squad being disrupted by the battle cry force commander as expected. The looted tank taking tons of damage and the assault squad doing a great job getting the double shooters off the field early. We now have a fully upgraded Nob squad with Nob leader, huge hammers and meaner and greener, and they're chasing down this Dreadnought and it's not going to last long. One more hit might do it. Bang. Needed to keep that thing melee. The looted tank survives. So did the double shooters. It was a good fight for kicking. Flash Git's now on the way, giving Phoenix another dimension to worry about. I guess that's going to be a prime target for the assault marines. But if you keep them separated from the shooters, they can't jump them all. Getting a power bash though. And a triple cap maybe. Look at this. He's got a big VP lead here, Phoenix. I've kind of glossed over that fact. Flash Gits will hit the field. What are they? 50 power? Yeah. Keep thinking they're 60. I think they were 60 at some point. There's that triple. VPs are flying down for kicking here. Leveling up these Marines. What are they now? Level 3. More bosses level 3. Force Commander level 4. There's a jump. They now have their Melter Bomb. And there it is. Gonna keep this guy in base for a bit longer to heal up. Or rather repair up, which also keeps the sluggers in base. Here are the Flash Gits. They've got their Git Finders, which is an awesome name for an upgrade. And these Snaz Guns, which deliver a hell of a lot of Dakai. He most likely wants blasters in play though, against Space Marines. Whirlwind for Phoenix. More disruption for the Nobs. who did not fully heal up, as you can see. Still have over 2,000 hit points though. 2 to 1. And we might see Kickin kind of camp out on this raised platform here to look after these two VPs. Being as low as he is. Down to 34. Sluggers are going to go for the southeast. So the game plan is, it's the right game plan. The bulk of your forces on the two VPs, send your sluggers over there. And looks like sluggers are going to be unopposed for now. Scouts are doing some scouting. Where are the shooter boys? Oh, they're over here. They do have knob leaders, so they can spot scouts, but they're too far away to do so. Scouts can't infiltrate forever, as you can see their energy is draining there. Sluggers might get the cap finished. Here we go. Whirlwind getting shots in. Shooter boys in big trouble immediately, and one of them goes down. Scouts now coming into play. Force commander getting stuck in. Flash kits forcing melee combat on the las cannon and get it off the field. Tank blowing up the scouts. Here we see this melee fight here. Frenzy for the knobs. Force command hasn't been touched yet, really. Maybe he got those knobs out of base a little bit too quickly. Oh wow. Assault squad finished off. There's a call to boys to reinforce the knobs. Pretty good trick to have in your global bar. Triple cap for Kickin here. And a stomp. And a concession from Phoenix. That call to boys and that assault squad wipe. Looted tank did the job. Really did the job. Flash kits will also getting some shots in. Some good choices at the end from Kickin. He got his heavy hitters out in good time and used them well. Despite disruption aplenty from Phoenix, just couldn't quite deal with the knob squads enough for them to stop being a massive threat. It's so difficult to stop them. Level 5 war boss we had with cyborg implants at the end. And a level 4 force commander. There you have it guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you in the next one.